Hello, my name is Amber and I am a certified yoga instructor at the University of Cincinnati. And today I'll be guiding you through a foundational yoga class with a focus on hip openers and side bends. So, if you want to come over to your mat, this is going to be a really good class for beginners, but really all levels are welcome. And also just a really good class for anytime you want to kind of get into any tight hips, get some stretches along the side of your body, just kind of release any tension, pressure, stiffness, and open everything up in a nice, calm, gentle way. So you'll just want to have a yoga mat. You'll want to be barefoot and just wearing some comfortable clothing. I always like to have my yoga blanket here. Just it helps me with different things. That's optional to have some kind of blanket or cushion if you want. And then of course your yoga mat. Aside from that, it can be nice to have a block or a book if you have that available. But if you don't worry about it. You'll still be able to participate today. Here we also have my assistant Murphy joining us today. He likes to help out with the yoga classes sometimes. You might see him throughout the practice today as well. And so yeah, we'll just go ahead and get started by finding a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like today for you. So you can sit like I am on a blanket or something comfortable to kind of elevate your hips and help you to comfortably sit with an upright spine, or maybe you just sit on your mat itself. Either one is fine. But just really sit up tall. So really lengthen up through the crown of your head. Let your shoulders relax down and back. Lift open up through your chest while your sitting bones are rooted down towards the floor. So just finding a nice upright spine, a good posture to get us started today. And as we sit here in this space, we'll just start to connect to our breath. Let's just take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale a big sigh out through your mouth. Just gonna let everything release, let everything go. Then we'll move into our steady rhythmic breath, or our 4-count breath. Just gently breathing in and out through your nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and breathe out. And just continue as best as you can to follow along that steady rhythmic breath throughout our practice today. Maybe as you connect to this breath, maybe take a moment to set a positive or uplifting intention, just something you'd like to focus your time on the mat towards today. Maybe kind of getting in there, getting in touch with it. A lot of times they say we store emotions and memories and things like that in our hips, so we're kind of getting into that space. So maybe just being open to releasing any stuck old memories or emotions or things that are no longer serving you, being open to getting to better know yourself, and also being kind, loving, and non-judgmental towards yourself throughout this practice today. So maybe those are some intentions you could set, or anything else that you wish to focus on during this time. As we sit here with this breath and this intention, go ahead and open your eyes if you close them or anything. We'll start with some just gentle warm-up stretches. Let's inhale, reach your arms overhead, reach your fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, send your right hand to your left knee. Just turn to gently look out over your left shoulder. Coming into a little seated twist. As you inhale, you really want to sit up tall, lengthen your spine, and then exhale to twist, looking out over your shoulder. Take another breath in. If your inhale takes you out of the twist a little bit as you lengthen, that's totally fine. And exhale, twist. Inhale, look forward, gently unwind from your twist. We'll do that again on the other side. Inhale, reach your arms up. Really stretch, lengthen, and then exhale, turn to look out over your shoulder. And inhale sits you up tall. Exhale, gently twist from there. And as always, just do what you can. Take one more breath in. And one more breath out here. Inhale, look forward, gently unwind from your twist. So just roll your shoulders up by your ears. Roll them down and back. We'll just do a couple more times here. Just kind of checking in with the shoulders. And then eventually allow your shoulder blades to relax down your back. Excuse me. And I'll tilt your chin up towards the ceiling, feeling a stretch along the front of your neck here. Stay with an upright spine. And then inhale, come back through center. And exhale your chin down to your chest, chest to chin. This time feeling that stretch along the back of your neck. Stay here. Keep your shoulders still relaxed down away from your ears. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, just begin to slide your chin over toward your left shoulder. And you can pause for a moment here, or maybe if and only if it feels good to you, begin to tilt your head back a little bit. Just little half rolls from side to side. Make your way back through center. And same thing on the other side. Find what works for you. We'll do this one more time on each side. Just take your time, kind of just releasing any stuck areas in our necks. Kind of feel it out as you go. And then eventually you can make your way back through the center and just lift your chin back up to neutral. And from here, we'll just slide your feet behind you, make your way onto your hands and knees onto a tabletop. You can always put something underneath your knees if you want a little extra cushion here. Fingers spread wide, shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees with a flat back. And we're just going to move into some cat and cow here. So inhale, look forward, and relax down towards the earth. Tailbone lengthens up for cow. And exhale, draw your navel into your spine, tailbone towards the earth for cat. Inhale, back, sway forward into your cow. And exhale back into your cat, and just continue to flow through these cat and cow movements at your own pace, your own breath. And then from here, we'll make your way back to your tabletop or back to your hands and knees. Fingers spread wide, curl your toes under, and lift up to the upside down V for downward facing dog. You might have a little bend in your knees here. Maybe you start to strain your legs. Either one's fine. Feel free to kind of walk it out and maybe shake your head loose a little bit. Whatever feels good here. Getting into the first downward dog, checking with your body, just noticing how it feels. And then from here, just for a sec, we're going to take that right leg and lift it up towards the sky to a three-legged downward dog. Breathe in, stretch it back, feel some energy through that leg. Breathe out. We're not going to stay here long. Inhale, slide that foot forward. You can always help it along if you need to. Right in between your hands. That front knee should be over the ankle. Exhale, lower your back knee. Inhale, sweep your hands up and overhead, low lunge. See if you can shift your hips a little forward, lift up through your chest. Breathe in. And exhale, hands to the earth. And then this time we're going to do something a little funky here. Start to walk that right foot out to the side. So it'll probably even come a little bit off of your yoga mat. And take your hands over to the left side of that foot. So we're coming into our lizard pose here. A little hip opener. Might feel like a big hip opener. Okay, just depends how you feel today. And there are different variations you can practice here, so you might stay right here. If you're wanting a little more active variation, you could curl your back toes under and lift that back knee, but only if you want to. I don't want you to feel pressured to do that. Just if that's what you really, truly feel like doing today, that's an option. Another option is to lower the knee again, maybe put something underneath that back knee for comfort. And then you could stay here, or maybe you lower down onto your forearms, or in my case, I would like to use a block here or two to lower down onto. So you could stack some books or pillows or something to lower down to if your body doesn't want to come all the way down to the floor, just to kind of ease into getting a little deeper into the pose, really feeling that stretch through your hip, through your leg, wherever you're feeling an opening here today. But of course, if this doesn't feel right or you don't have any props, it's totally fine to just stay right here. That's often what I'll do in my practice. Now I'm going to pivot for a sec so you can see this a little better from a different angle. So basically from the front, don't do this with me. I'm just showing you for a visual aid. This is what it'll look like. So you're kind of in this funky lunge, low lunge with your back knee down, front foot way out to the side, and both your hands to the side of that foot. So it'll look kind of like that. So let's just take one more breath in, tune into whatever you're feeling here, even if it's a little awkward, as long as there isn't any pain, breathe out. All right, and then we're just gonna gently step that front foot back to meet the left, and lift it back up to downward facing dog. From here, feel free to, again, pedal it out or anything that feels good to you for a moment. And then inhale, lift that left leg up just for a sec here. Exhale, stretch it out behind you. Inhale, slide that foot forward between your hands. Exhale, lower your back knee. Inhale, slide your hands up to the sky. Lengthen up. Get into your low lunge. See how it feels. Let's take one more breath in here. And then exhale, hands back down to the earth. And then from here, we'll start to move into our funky lizard pose on the other side. So walk that left foot out to the side, taking both your hands to the right of that foot. Feel free to play around with any variation of this pose that you'd like here. And maybe you sink into it deeper, just whatever works, whatever feels good to you. And don't be afraid if you feel a little awkward in this pose. It's pretty common for this pose to feel a little awkward, just as long as nothing hurts and you're good. Let's try to fight any resistance that you might be feeling here. Just breathe into it. You might be feeling some resistance, like you want to leave the pose or get to what's next, but really try to come into the moment and notice any release that you're feeling through your body here. Be present with it. And inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale the breath. Move you through potentially awkward or uncomfortable situations. Let's just take one more breath here. And then step it on back. Let's go back to downward dog just for a sec here, just so you can walk it out or stretch your legs in any way that you want to at this time. And then exhale, lower your knees down to the earth and sink your seat to your heels for a little child's pose. We'll just rest in child's pose for a moment here. Knees can be close together or apart. You can stretch your arms front, maybe form a pillow with your hands if that feels good to you. Continue to breathe in. Breathe out. Perhaps return back to that uplifting intention that you set for your practice today, remembering to be kind to yourself as we move our bodies in and out of different shapes and forms on our mat. And just try to have fun with it. Let it feel good. And then inhale, come back up to tabletop or shift back to tabletop. Fingers spread wide. Curl your toes under. Lift it back up to downward facing dog once again. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, step your feet forward to meet your hands, Uttanasana, forward fold. Just let your head hang heavy here. Hands may or may not touch the floor. Don't really get too caught up in that. It doesn't really matter. Knees might have a little bend in them, or maybe they're straight. Just relax into it as you fold forward. And then press down through your feet. Inhale, slowly roll it all the way up to standing, a little bit at a time. Roll your shoulders up and back as you get there. And we'll step up to the top of your mat here, connecting your mountain pose. So feet parallel to one another. They can be close together or up to hip width apart. And just really root down through the soles of your feet while you also lengthen up through the crown of your head. Shoulders relaxed on and back. Navel's drawn slightly up and in. Quadriceps slightly engaged. Chin, if the chin's coming forward at all, slide it back so it's in line with, so your neck is in line with the rest of your spine. Everything neatly stacked, coming back to a good posture here. Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take your left hand to your waist. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, send it over, side body stretch. Everything feel open. Inhale, come back up. We'll do the other side. This time send your right hand to your waist. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, slide it over. Inhale, come back up again. And exhale, just release. You can just kind of shake out your arms a little bit here if you want. So from here, we're going to step out. So step your right foot out so that your hips and the front of your body is facing along the long edge of your mat. One of the long edges of your mat, coming to a wide leg stance, both toes facing forward. Take your hands to your waist. From here, we'll pivot on your left foot, so your left toes will be facing the short end of your mat. If you look down, your left heel should be in line with your right arch. Check that your hips are level and facing forward, level with one another. Lengthen up through the crown of your head, chest is lifted and open. You start to bend that left knee, again stacked right over your ankle. If you look down, you should be able to see at least your first toe here, at least your big toe. Inhale, arms up to a T, coming into your warrior two. If you ever Virabhadrasana B, you look out over your left fingertips. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, slide that right hand down your leg, your left arm reaches up and over, exalted warrior. Feel like side body stretch. We'll pause and take another breath here. Breathe in and out. Inhale, come back up to your warrior two. Exhale, straighten your leg, relax your arms. And other side, we'll pivot on your left foot so your toes are facing front. Open your right toes out to face the other side, the other short side of your mat. Check the alignment of your feet, that your heel's in line with your arch, and check the alignment of your hips, that they're still parallel to one another. Begin to bend that right knee. Inhale, arms up to a T. And exhale, look out over your right fingertips. Breathe. Feel the strength of your legs equally working together. And then inhale, lift it up and over, exalted warrior. Exhale. One more breath in and out. Inhale, come back up, warrior two. Exhale, release, straighten your leg. And then from here, we'll just take both your feet to face forward. Take your hands to your waist. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward. Come to a little right leg forward. Pull. We'll just take a couple breaths to pause here. Inhale your hands up to your waist and slowly make your way all the way back up to standing and step back to the top of your mat and reconnect here in your mountain pose. And from your mountain pose, let's bring your palms to heart center. Start to look forward. Find a drishti or steady gazing point, just something that's preferably not moving out on the horizon that you can focus on. And you start to really root down through your right foot, through your right leg. So just not forcing anything, but just really standing really strong and sturdy through that right leg. You begin to bend your left knee and slide your left heel right alongside your right ankle. Option one, you could stay right here with your toes on the floor. Or maybe you start to walk your left foot up your leg, either above or below your knee. And play around with that. Palms can stay here at heart center. You might take them out to the side. This can be really helpful with balance here, or maybe even grow your branches overhead. Or tree pose, Vrikshasana. Maintain that steady, even breath, even if you feel a little shaky. Just feel it out. Take one more breath in, out, calm, focus. Inhale, bring that front knee forward. Exhale, release both feet to the floor. Release your arms. Just kind of shake it off a little bit, let it loose. So we're going to try this on the other side. Might feel different, okay? In a mountain pose. Let's all start with our palms at heart center. Look forward, find that steady gazing point to focus on. That can help us with our balance, and begin to root down through your left foot, through your left leg. And then begin to slide your right knee out to the side, heel to ankle. And of course, you could do any variation. You could stay here. You could walk your foot up the leg, either above or below your knee, arms out to the side, palms heart center, or reaching overhead. Whatever feels good here. Find your tree pose. Continue to breathe in. Breathe out. Stay steady within yourself, even if you're not steady within the pose. Remember, accepting wherever we're at this time. Take one more breath in, out. Inhale, bring that front knee forward. Exhale, gently release both feet to the floor. Release your arms and do a little dance if you want. Just kind of shake it out, shake it off. let go of anything that feels like stuck energy or old to you. Okay, yeah, take it off, let it go. Back to your mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, die forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. This time, inhale, look up, flat back. Take your hands to your knees or your waist. Crown of your head lengthens forward. And exhale, fold. Breathe. And we'll take your hands to the floor once again and step one foot back, fold by the other, and lift your hips up, downward dog. Maybe take a moment to notice how this downward dog might feel different than that first downward dog that we did today. And breathe in. And then exhale, just lower your knees down to the earth, and we'll just slide your feet over to one side. So it doesn't matter which side it is. I'm going to grab my trusty blanket to sit on here. We're just going to come to a seat with your legs straight out in front of you. And then take your legs out wide, so form like a V or an L shape here. Sit up tall, lengthen your spine. We're going to begin to bring your right knee in towards your body. Place your right foot alongside that straight leg as you relax your knee towards the floor. You can always put like a block or something, or a cushion or blanket or whatever underneath your knee to close out any space between your knee and the floor if there's space there and that's more comfortable for you. Begin to turn your torso to look out over that straight leg. Inhale, lengthen. Create that length in your spine. So we're not just forcing down. We want to start by lengthening your spine, lengthen up through the crown of your head first, and then lead with your heart. A little bit of time, start to come forward and feel it out. Maybe you touch your toes here, but that's not really what it's about. Just reach for whatever you can here. Coming into our Janushirshasana. Head knee pose or half butterfly. Notice anywhere you feel a stretch. Make sure there isn't any pinching or pain in your spine. If there is, that means maybe you've gone too far. You need to release it a little bit. Let's take one more breath here wherever you're at. Feel the stretch maybe to the hamstring, side of your body, back. And inhale, start to come back up a little bit at a time. And then from here, extend both legs once again. Come back to that V shape with your legs. And this time we'll do the other side. Bring your left knee in. Take your foot alongside that straight leg as you relax your knee to the floor. Optional, put something underneath it if you want to. Begin to turn to look out over that straight leg. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Long spine. And then exhale, a little bit of time. Just feel it out. A little bit of time, start to lower any amount. We'll take a couple breaths here. Relax your shoulders down, away from your ears. And inhale, start to walk your hands up your leg, make your way back up. And then from here, we're going to come to a seat with your knees bent in front of you and your feet on the floor. Murphy likes this one. So, let's start with a subtle hip opener here, even though we just did our lizard pose a little bit ago. We're going to turn down a notch. Take your hands behind you, shoulders over your wrists. Fingers can be spread wide. And just draw your shoulders back, so keeping a flat back here. We don't want to round the shoulders forward. Your head goes back a little bit comfortably. From here, inhale, bring your right knee in towards your chest. Place your right foot on top of your left thigh. You slide that right knee out away from your body to open your hip, coming into a little seated pigeon. If you don't feel very much here, you can always try playing around with bringing that bottom foot in closer to your body for a little more intensity. Or if it feels like too much, you could take that foot out a little bit farther away from you. So again, feel free to play around with it and find what works for you. I'll take a couple breaths here in our seated pigeon. So this is a variation. Sometimes when you do my classes, I do a pose called pigeon pose. That's where you're coming forward, almost on your stomach with one of your legs behind you. And I always mention with that pose that there is compression in the knee involved there. So if you're someone who has discomfort in your knee there, you have knee issues, something like this, along with another pose we're going to do in this class, it can be a good alternative to pigeon for you, the seated pigeon where there is not compression on your knee. As always, with anything, if you feel pain in your knee or any other part of your body, then maybe it's not the pose for you or you need to adjust something. So always be mindful of that and listen to your body. But that being said, this can be an alternative for you if you're one of those people. Anyway, from here, let's bring that knee back in. Just extend your leg and point and flex your toe, or point and flex your foot for a moment while we're here. And then we'll bring it in. Other side, keep that flat back. Let's bring your right knee or your left knee in. Sorry, take your left foot to your right thigh. Slide that knee away from your body. That part's key because if your knees come into your body, you're not really going to get the stretch. And then play around with that bottom foot, the positioning of it, to find what feels best to you. And if this doesn't feel like a lot to you, that's okay too. Everyone is in a different place, so I just try to offer different options in these classes so that hopefully everyone can find something that will work for them. Let's breathe here. And we'll bring that knee in and extend your leg, point and flex your foot for a moment, and then bring both feet in, come back up to your upright spine, bring your hands forward, knees together. We're going to actually let the knees come out to the side, bring the soles of your feet together, going to our Baddha Konasana pose, round angle pose. Inhale, sit up tall, lengthen your spine. Optional to stay here, or you may choose a little bit of time to start to gently come forward. Take a couple breaths here. Just notice any stretch you feel in your inner thighs. You can maybe opening your hips. Everyone's body's a little different, so different people can feel the stretch in different locations. Just feel the release. Come back to any old stories, emotions, negative self-talk, anything that you've been dealing with maybe that is real to you at this time that maybe you can release. Or just anything you can become more aware of and accepting of as well. Take one more breath in. And shoulders still relax away from your ears. One more breath out. And then inhale, start to make your way back up. And from here, we'll bring your knees together. And if you're sitting on a blanket, you can just scoot off of your blanket. We're going to lower down onto your back. So just lower all the way down onto your back. And just take a moment here, slide your knees a little from side to side. And then from here, I'm going to do a similar thing to seated pigeon, but with a reclined pigeon lying down on your back. So the knees bent in front of you, feet on the floor. Let's bring that right knee in towards your body. We'll place your right foot on your left thigh as you let your right knee slide out away from your body. Option one is you could stay right here if this feels good. Option two, if you want to go a little deeper, you want a little more, you could lift that front leg, lift that left foot. And with your hands reach for your hamstring, try to keep both your feet flexed, that right knee away from your body. Reclined pigeon. And feel any release, any opening here. Let your back relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. You just take this space to take care of yourself. Feeling releases in your own body, in your own mind that might be coming up right now. Take one more breath in. And exhale, release that front foot, followed by your other foot. And then from here, we'll take your arms out to a T. And just slide both knees over to your right side. Coming into a little reclined twist here. Maybe take a hand to your top knee if that's helpful. And then maybe you look out over your left shoulder if that feels available to you. If that's not comfortable for you or strains your neck in any way, then you can simply just look up at the ceiling. Take a couple breaths here. Let it relax. And then eventually you'll start to bring your knees back to center. Come back to where we started with your knees bent in front of you, feet on the floor. And then this time we'll bring your left knee in towards your chest. Place your left foot on your right thigh, slide that left knee out away from your body. And of course, option 1 absolutely can stay right here. Or option 2, if you want, you can start to lift the other foot and reach for your hamstring. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed as best as possible here. It is natural for them to come up a little bit if you're in the second variation with the foot lifted. But just try not to be scrunching or straining your shoulders if possible. Come back to your breath if needed. Come back to your intention. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, release everything back down if you haven't already. And this time arms out to a T or cactus, depending on how much space you have to work with. And slide your knees over to the left side, recline twist. We'll take about 2 or 3 breaths here. So let everything release, let everything go. As you're ready, bring your knees back to center. And this time just check to see that your knees are stacked over your feet. Slide your arms out down to your side, palms facing down. Press your feet into the floor as you inhale, start to lift your hips up a little bit at a time, lower, mid, and upper back. We're just going to do one bridge pose today, getting a back bend in. See if you can maybe even lift your hips a little higher if that's available to you. And you start to squeeze your shoulder blades together underneath you. Take a couple of breaths here. In your bridge pose. Take one more breath in. And exhale, lower down the upper, mid, and lower back a little bit at a time. And when you get there, just give your knees a hug in towards your chest. Maybe even rock a little bit from side to side if that feels nice today. We start to wind down our practice, coming towards the end of our practice. Come back to yourself, check in with yourself, notice how you feel. Maybe come back to revisit that intention one more time. And then as you're ready, just let your feet relax down towards the floor. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Stretch your arms towards the wall behind you. Just full body stretch. Stretch your body long. Really reach your fingertips back. Reach your toes forward. And then when you're ready, just release your arms to the side. Start to make any final movements or adjustments that feel good to you to set up for our final corpse pose, Shavasana. So if you want, you can always feel free to put your socks or anything warmer back on at this time. Maybe grab a drink of water. Just trust your own intuition. Trust yourself that you know what it is that you need to get comfortable and relaxed here. I mean, look at our assistant Murphy. He's super relaxed, super chill. If you have a cat around, you're ever not sure how to get relaxed without thinking too much about it, take some inspiration from your cat. They're really good at it. But yeah, from here, just make any movements, adjustments to get as comfortable as you possibly can. I really encourage you to stay with me through the end of this video. You've already gotten this far. Take this time to reward yourself a little bit. You earned this. Not that it has to be earned. You can relax at any time. And your worth is not determined on what you do necessarily. But since we did take the time to stretch out our body and move ourselves into different shapes, forms, poses today, I really suggest you take this time to let your body release and absorb the benefits of each posture that we did. And this is a really good way to do that through our Shavasana practice. So if you haven't already, just let your shoulders, let your back just completely relax into the floor, sink into the floor. Your eyes gently close, and you return back to your natural breath. Release all physical efforts from your body, and just let yourself completely relax for these next few minutes here in your Shavasana. Tell the crown of your head completely relax. Tell your forehead, eyes, cheeks, jaw to relax. Neck, shoulders, upper back, chest, relax. Mid back, abdomen, lower back, hips, relax. Thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, toes, relaxed. Front of your body, back of your body, whole body, all relaxed. Take a couple more quiet, easy breaths here. And if you'd like, definitely feel free to stay here for as long as you want. But if you need to get on with your day, then you might join me by wiggling your fingers and your toes, making any stretches or movements with your body that feel good to you. Gently bringing energy awareness back into your body. Eventually, bring your knees in towards your chest and gently roll over to your right side and just stay there for a few moments in your fetal pose. Get clear on what matters by getting rid of everything that doesn't. Courtney Carver. And mindfully begin to make your way back up to your seat. And as you do so, just take a brief moment here of gratitude towards yourself for coming to the mat and to this practice today. Once you make your way back to a comfortable seat like where we started, and just inhale, reach your arms overhead, and exhale your palms down to your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Amber, and this was a foundational yoga class with a focus on hip openers and side bends. Of course, balanced practice with some other things in there too. So hopefully you feel a little more stretched out. Maybe your hips feel a little less tight if they were. And I hope to see you back again next time. As always, take really good care of yourself. Bye.